Alright, since the last time we spoke, the world has once again decided to speedrun chaos. Another country has been dragged into the Iran conflict. Finland is lifting its ban on nuclear weapons. The United States is asking Ukraine for help in the Middle East. France is expanding its nuclear arsenal. 10 European nations are preparing evacuation plans. And while everyone is watching, the Middle East, the FBI quietly released. But enough talking. Let's begin. First things first, the war in the Middle East has now entered its second week, and it's not slowing down. In the latest escalation, an Iranian drone reportedly struck the international airport in Azerbaijan. 2 civilians were injured. Another drone crashed near a school building. Azerbaijan has warned it will respond, which means the number of countries now involved keeps climbing. Analysts say it could now be 15, maybe 16 nations, and things came dangerously close to escalating further. According to reports, Iranian bombers were only 2 minutes away from striking one of the largest U.S. military bases in the entire region, a base that holds around 10,000 American troops. 2 minutes. The strike never happened because Qatari fighter jets intercepted them and shot them down in what may have been their first real aerial combat mission. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the region, 3 people were killed in the United Arab Emirates after a missile made it through air defenses. Several drones were also intercepted across multiple countries. Europe is now getting involved. France, Spain, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, all promising naval support to help protect Cyprus. Italy has also stepped in, announcing it will send air defense support to Gulf partners. And because the situation is deteriorating quickly, countries have started evacuation flights. Australia, Germany, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, all bringing their citizens home. The UK's first flight was delayed due to technical issues, but it has now successfully arrived and evacuated civilians. Now here's where things get strange. According to Ukraine's president, the United States has asked Ukraine for help. Yes, Ukraine, specifically for help stopping Iranian-shaped drones. Ukraine confirmed it will provide that support, and the irony has not been lost. On the internet, just months ago, tensions between US leaders and Ukraine were extremely high. Now suddenly, Washington is asking Kiev for help. Politics moves fast, but while everyone was focused on the war, another story quietly appeared. The US Justice Department released more documents connected to the Epstein investigation, documents that were previously withheld. The files describe a 2019 interview with a woman who claimed she was assaulted by Donald Trump when she was between 13 and 15 years old in the 1980s. Now investigators say they could not find evidence to support the claim, but the surprising part is something else. There were additional interviews that had never been released before. Officials say those files were mistakenly withheld because they were labeled as duplicate documents. Whether people believe that explanation is another question. Meanwhile, inside Congress, a moment unfolded that quickly went viral during a hearing. A Marine veteran named Brian McInnes stood up and interrupted the session. He began shouting that the United States should not fight a war for Israel. Security moved in to remove him, but he resisted. During the struggle, his arm was reportedly broken. The video spread rapidly online because something else caught people's attention while the chaos was happening behind them. Many officials in the room did not even turn around. McInnes now faces charges, including assault and resisting arrest. But the video has already become a viral moment. And speaking of viral, here's a bizarre one. A hashtag began trending online, calling for Baron Trump to be drafted into the military. Yes, someone even created a website, draftbarontrump.com. The joke is about whether leaders' children should serve in wars their parents start. But realistically, Baron Trump will probably never be drafted. Why? Because the US military has height limits. The maximum height is about -1 feet 8. Baron Trump is reportedly 6 feet 9, meaning he might literally be too tall. Meanwhile, Europe is preparing for darker scenarios. France announced it will increase its nuclear warheads. For the first time since 1992, France currently has around 290 nuclear weapons, making it the fourth largest nuclear power in the world. President Macron defended the decision, saying, "To remain free, a nation must also be feared." At the same time, Finland announced it will lift a decades-old ban on nuclear weapons entering its territory. The ban had existed since 1987, but Finland now says the change is necessary to fully align with NATO defense. And there's more. 10 European nations are now working together on emergency evacuation plans in case war spreads across Europe. These plans include transport routes, border control systems, and evacuation corridors. Officials say the plans were inspired by lessons from Ukraine, basically asking, if war suddenly reached our borders, how would we evacuate millions of people? Hopefully, those plans are never needed, but governments want them ready just in case. And finally, one last update. From Washington, Donald Trump has reshuffled his cabinet. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has been removed from the position. She is now being moved to a new role, working on something called the Shield of the Americas, a program designed to combat drug cartels and illegal migration. Replacing her as Homeland Security Chief will be Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin, a strong ally of the president. So yeah, that's the world right now. War expanding across the Middle East, countries discussing nuclear weapons, evacuation plans. In Europe, political chaos. In Washington, and somehow the internet debating whether a -1'9" college student should be drafted into the military. It's been a long week. Hopefully, next week is calmer. But honestly, I wouldn't count on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.